Hello, welcome to this lesson where we are looking at one of the subheading or one of the lessons into the sequence and series topic, which is a grade 11 topic. Remember that this channel is committed to providing mathematics to people that are preparing for their GCE exams, grade 12 school certificate that is, as well as grade 9s. So the lessons are provided for all the topics according to the syllabus in order to assist such people. So please, if this is the first lesson you are watching, bear in mind that lessons have been presented in full for the entire syllabus to prepare someone who is writing for their grade 12 exam. Okay? We are bringing closer these lessons to you. Class is right with you, be it on the bus, or in your house, in your office. Make sure that you utilize this platform. Tell others. Okay? So what are we looking at? We are saying we want to find, this is the one of the lessons in a GP that I'm presenting, and it's the second lesson. Remember that sequence and series has two parts, AP and GP. So for the GP, this is the second lesson that I'm presenting. So what are we looking at? We are looking at how we find the nth term. How we find the nth term. Remember from the previous lesson, we were looking at the common ratio and stuff. How do we find the nth term? Sometimes it's too laborious to go through the process of adding the common ratio to get to find it if they want you to find the 50th term. So now we want to find a shorter way. We are using this formula. This formula was already dealt with by some people, and they proved that this formula is usable and it's correct for finding the nth term of a GP. All these things here, they are not my creation. They are borrowed from people that have tried them before. Some questions are coming from a Progress grade 10, grade 11 textbook. Other questions are coming from Pure and Applied Mathematics, additional mathematics book. That is where all these questions are coming. So if you have those books, refer to them. Okay? We're just going through what others already did. Pure and Applied Mathematics, additional, I think most of these questions are coming from them. So now we can get back to what we are supposed to do. The formula, this formula is what we use to find the nth term. If they give you the first three or so terms, then they tell you find the 30th term. We cannot begin to be multiplying one after the other. No, this formula gives us the shorter method of getting to that. Okay? So, what are we saying? For a first one, for a GP, 3, -6, 12, find the seventh term. Find the seventh term. The formula for the nth term is given by A. Now, A is the first term. R is the common ratio. N, as implied, it's the nth term. So in this case, N is 7 because it's the seventh term in this case. Okay? Then A is the first term. You look at the sequence or the GP is the first term given. In this case, we have the first term, it is 3. N, it's given, it's 7. Then the common ratio now. Common ratio is what we presented in the previous lesson. We said common ratio, you have to do T2 divided by T1, which is equals to -6 divided by 3. What do we get? We get -2. So -2 is our common ratio. -2 is our common ratio. Okay? So, let's proceed to find the actual 7th term. So this is what we're going to do. T7, that is A, 3, multiplied by, what is our common ratio there? Common ratio is -2. Okay? -2, then what do we have? We have N, which is 7 minus 1. Okay? 7 minus 1. So, we say 3 multiplied by 6. Then we get to write the answer. Take note that these things, this topic does come in paper 2. So you need to have a calculator with you, which is going to assist you find these figures, because sometimes figures can be very big and there will be time wasting for you in the exam. So you need to have a calculator when it comes to this part. So with me is a scientific calculator. So I'm going to deal with this one on my calculator and say 3 multiplied by, what do I have here? Got negative got 2 close, then up there, up here we say 6. Okay, here we say 6. So what we are getting is according to this calculator is 192. Okay, let's try yours. Try according to yours and see if this is what you're going to get. Okay, are we getting the same? Is this what we are getting? Okay, try if this is what you're getting, so that we don't make mistakes. Just to be sure that there are no mistakes. My calculator is not very good. My calculator is not very good. Okay, for me, this is what I'm getting. So you can try to, can also try it. My calculator is not slow. Okay, so this is what I'm getting for me. So I was actually supposed to go and also find the 20th term, but I'm looking at the pace that my calculator is working out these things slow. But you can slot in this 20. The only difference that is going to be there is where we have 7 here, you put 20, and then you should be able to get the answer. I think that is the only difference that is there. So I want to look at this part. I want to look at this part, which is the nth term. The nth term, meaning we don't know what n is. We do not know what n is. So for me, what we are supposed to do here is, since we know what our A is and our R is, for me what I do is to say, we can only say, we bring our 3 here, okay? This is our 3. Then our R, what is our R? Or maybe we can bring this, we can write the 3 like this. Then we say our R is -2. Then we say n minus 1. For me, possibly there could be other people that may take this question or this simplification further, but for me, this is where I can end. I will leave it at this point. All right? This is the formula for the nth term. So if you want to find the 7th term, you just bring your 7 here, and it will take us back to what we got. Remember that here there is multiplication. In between 3 and the -2, there is multiplication. Because this part, which is like a power or an index, it's just on the -2. It's not on the... So when you multiply these 2, that would be wrong. So you have to leave it like that. That is what we are supposed to do. Okay? That's what we are supposed to do. So let's go to the second one, the second question. The second question is find the eighth term of the GP. Find the 8th term of the GP. Remember that we need first to find our A. we need these. Any is given as 8. Our A is given as 1, which is the first term. What is the common? So common ratio, we need to find common ratio by this formula, where we divide the second term. Second term should be divided by the first term. Now, you know that, how do we divide fractions? We divide fractions by multiplying. Of course, this is 1 over 1. It will still be 1 over 1. So it will give us 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is going to be our common ratio. And that is what I'm going to put here. 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is going to be our common ratio. Take note. So now I come to the actual this one. We come to this one. Then, so here we say R, we want what? The 8th term. So our first term is 1 multiplied by R, which is 1 over 3 multiplied by 8 minus 1. It's 7. Okay? 8 minus 1, it is 7. So you know that when we multiply this by 7, when we multiply this by 1, it will still be the same thing. So this, you need to do this on your calculator. Do this on your calculator as I try it on mine to see if we're going to get the same thing. Okay? Let's do this on our calculator to see if we're going to get the same thing. 1 over 3. We close, then we say what? Say 7. Okay? So, for me, what I'm getting, take note, for me, this is what I'm getting. 8, 7, or to be like 0.00 0.0457. When you write it to 3 significant figures, this is what I'm getting. All right? This is what I'm getting. So please, that is if my calculator has not missed anything, or if I have not missed anything when entering. But this is the process that you're supposed to carry out. Now, I do request that we pay particular attention, or we begin to take this as we get to look at question 3 and 4. There is some kind of a process that we need to go through before we get to the answer. So I do request you that we pay attention as much as we did on the first 2. So, what have we been given here? We've been given the 5th term and the 8th terms of a GP are 80 and 640 respectively. So meaning the 5th term is 80, the 8th term is 640. That is what it means. So we want to find the value of A and the value of R. A is the first term, R is the common ratio. In other words, we want to find the first term and the common ratio. What are we supposed to do? We are coming from this same formula. We are coming from this same formula. So this is what we are expected to do. So we are going to say Tm is equals to, please follow me. This is the formula, the general formula for the nth term. But then we have been given that the 5th term, if here we put 5, A, R, which is 5 minus 1, that will be the 5th term. So this is 4. You should know that this is going to give us 80. Alright? This is the 5th term. Remember that this is n minus 1. It was 5 minus 1. That is how we got to this one. So we are going to form 2 equations. This is one of the equations. Then the second one, again, is the 8th term. So it will be the same thing. The 8th term, this is like equation. We're going to have equations. Equation 1. So the 8th term, what will happen to the 8th term? Here where there is n, we put 8. When we put 8 there, what we are going to get, it's going to be 8 minus 1. So we're going to have 7. So it is going to be A R 7, which is this is not the 7th term, but the 8th term, because a 1 has been subtracted from this. This gives us 6. All right. This is the second equation. This is equation 2. This is, so we have 2 equations in this case. Even when we are looking at arithmetic progression, we had such a case where you come up with 2 equations and then solve them simultaneously, something like that. So please, this is what we are supposed to have. Then when we have this case, so we have now to divide the second equation by the first one. We have to divide the second equation by the first one. Remember, our interest, we want to find the values of A and R. So this is what I mean. So the second equation should be divided by the first equation. This first equation must divide the even this side. Take note. This is the first equation, which is this one. This part has been divided by this one divided by that. That's what we're looking at. So when you divide here, this A and that, you're going to have R to the power 3. Okay? Simplify this. It will be there 8 times. Okay? Now, you know now from the index notation, we looked at a topic, index notation in grade 10, for grade 10 work. How are we supposed to do this one? We take the cube root, the other side, or on both sides. So this side G2, we get rid of it. So R will give us what? 2. This is the value of R, and R is the common ratio. R is the common ratio. So after we have done this, so we can pick one of these equations to find the value of A. So let me take it that I pick this one. 4 is equals to 8. So R, we have found that R is what? 2. So I'm going to say A, here what do I put? 2 to the power 4, 8. This one is going to be 16. 16A is equals to 8. Divide by 16, divide by 16. My A is going to be equals to what? My A is going to be equals to 5. My A is going to be equals to 5. 8 here is 2. 8 here, it's 1. You have 10. This 5. So my A is going to be 5. And what is your A? Your A is your first term. Your R is your common ratio. Look at this. You need these. So at this point now, after you have found your R and your A, which is your first term, you can now proceed and deal with any question, because these two are critical in the formula. We need them. Look at the formula. We have A and R. We need just to know them. Okay? We need to know these. So after we have been given this, even if there was another formula that asks you to say, find the 7th term, find the 20th term, find the 30th term, we just put that 30 here, because these are now known. They are known. All right? This is what we are supposed to do. This is what we are supposed to do. We are able to do this, some of them even without the use of a calculator. All right? So let's go to the other question. There is an A here, meaning there was supposed to be another question. So you can get rid of it. But once once you've known how to do this, then there will be no problem. Okay? So let's look at the last question. Let's look at the last question. When you look at the last question, the process is the same. The reason why I even thought of giving you such an example, maybe 1 or 2 people would have an issue with the fractions, because here we have fractions. But the process is the same. So take note. What have we been given? The second term. The nth term, this is the formula. Now, take note, if we are saying the second term, meaning the second term, where there is n, we are going to put 2. So 2 minus, so I'm going to say A. If you say 2 minus C, it's going to be what? What is our second term? 1 over 18. So this goes further. If you, now we can simplify this is 2, it is going to be 1. And it is r to the power 1, it's the same as just r, like that. Okay? Take note of that. Then we come to the other part. The fifth what? The fifth. So the fifth is like you just reduce the power by 1 because of the minus. So it's going to be 4. Because of 5 minus 1, what do we get? 4 over 243. Are we there? Then from this point now, we proceed to say, what did we do in the first? We divide the second, we have the first equation and the second equation. So we need to divide the second equation by the first equation. We divide this equation by, so this is what we are supposed to do. This is the second equation. It has to be divided by the first one, which is okay? Like that. Then this side, what did we have here? We have 4 over 2, 4. You can say divided here, then you bring the other part. But it's the same as me just saying divided by 1 over 18. It's the same. So we simplify this part. We're going to have, which is giving us the same thing. It's giving us the same thing, taking us back to something that we already worked with. So it's even similar and the concept is purely the same. So now we go on here and say 4 over 243 multiplied by 18 over 1. So at this point we need to simplify. R3 is equals to 4 over 9 into 18. 9 into 18 is 2. 9 into 24, it's 2. Remainder, 6. 9 into 63, it's 7. Here we have 1. So when you multiply this one, what do you get? R3 is equals to what? 8 over 27. 8 over 27. So let me take it, bring it up here. 8 over 27. 8 over 27. So now, we have 8 over 27. So it's the same thing. We take the cube root of this. 8 over 27. The cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of is 3. So our R is 2 over 3. Our R is 2 over 3, which is very simple. That is our R. Then now to find the first term, we're supposed to use one of those two equations. I remember the first one was 1 over 18. So we can use this one. Where there is R, we put this 2 over. So we're going to say now we have 2 over 3. A is equals to 1 over 18. So A is equals to 1 over 18 multiplied by the reciprocal of this one is 3 over 2. Okay? So A is equals to 3 here, 1, 3 here, 6. So A is going to be equals to 1 over 12, 6 multiplied by 2. This is what is going to be our A. this is what is going to be our A. This part has been dealt with. This part has been dealt with. Now the 10th term. So this is what I was saying, that all these other questions that are following, they are simple, or they become simpler after we have dealt with the first and the common ratio, because that is what we need in the formula. The first term, which is our A, we have it as 1/12. The common ratio, we have it as, so you just put, and you strictly work with a calculator if you're not conversant with what you may do. Okay, so get to use the calculator, because these questions would come in paper 2 where a calculator is permissible. Okay, so we want the 10th term. The 10th term, we are going to have the 10th term. What is our first term? 1/12 multiplied by, what is our, we have 2/3. Then 10 minus 1, which is going to be 9. Let's try to use our calculators. Let's try to use our calculators. Please don't multiply this, simplify this part and multiply by that. Let's try to use our calculators and see what we're going to get there. Let's try to use our calculators and see what we're going to get. I'm using a calculator on the phone, which is not very, and my phone, the sensor is not very good. Okay. So we are saying we have 1/12 multiplied by another part, which is 2/3 divided by, close brackets, and there we put what? 9. Okay, so what are we getting? For me, I'm getting this one, 20, then over 5, 9, 0, 4, 9. When you, or in decimal, it will be like 0.00217 when you round off to 3 significant figures. Okay, when you round up 3 significant figures, that's what I'm getting. So please try to confirm also with your calculators. So basically, that is what we are expected to do. For the nth term, you can see it will only be at this point where we have where we're supposed to have this part where we are supposed to have n. It will only be, you leave it, you replace, you do the substitutions of these ones, then here it will just be n minus, because we don't know what n is, and we may have difficulties to go on and simplify those things. So basically, these questions for paper 2, they are very common, and I do request that you try to repeat these questions. Do them over and over on your own. I have told you that these questions are drawn from various books, past papers, and also those people that prepare exams, get them from books, especially pure and applied mathematics, additional mathematics. That book is very helpful on this part. So, there are questions that I've written down. I think you'll be able to have them for your exercise. I hope they are very clear. Question what? 5 up to 7, and 5 up to 7. Question 5 up to 7, and 5 up to 7. So I think this is what you are supposed to do. Thank you very much for watching. All right.